mesti le pachami tu masa kima kalau mula tu hone pachane tui empege tu ye tekene tu kau tu emenu patai tong dasa lang tu no libi ke huchre mesti la ye ke hutiri pachia kala bono so science oi pachia kala mula tu hone tu te tigo tu sana butu hula tu ne pege tu me ke tu sai ke na butu ke te chu dasa ke hino ke le ga atwa le thoyong la le mone ne penge ke tu ka kila tu hone tui atuni ne ke ke anmo ne language condition so sa ucha pa amen tu tiga ye pachia bere thoyong le vlog so che keribo pachia bua eri ka tu ngoya Luka aliwo taho le tu ne thongoi Zekia ko la ne thongoya ala fo na po ro pke eni tu ne thongoi e pachia bua takhe no la ye avri ti so la we are ready let's read it Luke chapter 19 verse 1 Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by a name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. And then verse 3 verse 3 he wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a synagogue fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, he had gone to be the guest of a sinner. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, Look, Lord, here now and give half of my possession to the poor. And if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount. And verse 9, Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham, for the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Pachibala hukumoye tadi la tu kangaroo rai kay na town na setong September October so na gulu sa kay ga game ga ma rehega re arma hore rehe apyong le ang chore ke boss ha dat khan yare ke me community ro na to ya kay ga ke boss dat khan mo hane arma asimit ga ha community arma ko yo ba ngo chara kay ga re arma ke community arma he online pela he te chore ya pakhe ha alam fa ri ha tho bal aye ka he chore ya ke ma khane ka he to ni ta ka khane ka he khani ga ke ga re arma ke ga komni ka ke wa lukken lene ke chung lu sa khani ga ke ga abal ne alam fa avar ma echu ga arma arma mala arma ri he ye gola be che khre me so ani re alam fa arma ke thi phai te ne ke ga ke komuni ha ti atau komuni ne yari la re bolola re chere ani arma aningwa thaya ke gai arma ke sigai kathi arma ke sigai kathi no ga aw sakiro khane ha net khane e to aranga he no ga ro so yon la sa sai ke se ya ke ga net ku lu ke sien ni ne to khane ga sa ra ke ga re lunch e no la ke ani ne ai Colombia more anego say Colombia more kala lunch pick e say kala la pick sorry ni se glu ni ke ga sorry ke ma ka thino ga varu yu e thonga juri asa sai ka thino ga to he re ha thoba yu ko lo yu ya khato me ka thino ga ya ke ga la pick ka sare ke Colombia parking ga ma no ga arma hali to sai ke ga sare par ma ke ga thino ga pachi bu ang jo pachi ne hu na pe pa han du ai e thingo ko na me yo te ga ne e na pe ba han du e sound so hai e arma e ga asawo hai mya ko atan ri ha ma re jo nan yo chiri ka thin lo ga ha ke ga re pachane e na mo think ko ko ma sa kamo na kare wala ha te ne e sound so ma sa kamo na kare wala kamo na atan ri kare nan yo ke ga arma ke ka thin lo ga e kamo la abisa nan yo e atan ri kamo la kare like ke ga pachibane arma ke ga pachibane ka thin lo ga ha arma thona le po ri e ha kamolan kare thinko ro ko kamolan kare tekna le phi ateng na mo kamolan kare rehe ro strina thoi arma I got you arma rinai ateng de arma asen ping ko joy ke ka thin lo arma pachena o ke ga arma ke ga ka hino ga rehe ko arma to ko to ban jori warma e thong jo ma ka thin ga rino ma da oh pachane erewo Pachia ek ateng arei rehe siga rehe ga bose ateng de Pachia yo avarei arma kega Pachia ro alli arma alli no ak ke ne jore kega re arma thoyang la mura kame arma kega re ka hino ga o le pido arma hore rehe thwasa le pige hibo ateng re ne ko re si sona ma thwa arma amo asi e tarabar mo ateng wo wang ba han cho ke ga ka hino gen go ko re I mean ege yin to ma sa sai e hino ga sa sai o e han war mo so ya hala ma tha sa e bu hala ma tha sa sa tai e to ni o e wo so ni ong cho re e han e to la e han war mo a se pin le war mo e arma le piu so ga arma mo ra focus e to ya sa sai how ma it thwai how ma umbo chwa sai any ni si on ke jori ti ba ke si ga ayong ya sin to lo emi ebetu ro vore le are to pachine thwai te kne emi ga ayong ye on ke ya ateng ari a chikhu to are to pachine ebo jwa ke ga a thola re vanung so jwa thona ra sabu ke ga ke la si ga sabu ka huru te kne any tibo na thoi ele piwo la ro ateng re ateng lawo on jori ele piwo la ro e ke hi ro arma klang e deng e ni ya ke thoi ro chire e to no asuma ong so selima ateng arma e hino yang ye long on post to la e arma nye ngas to la le piwo so ga on para pachia Gana on Pachia at all things to high the Pulare to the Lare Kangu. So the rest, we're gonna talk in English, so I'll try my best. So, let's look at Zacchaeus, right? So today our topic is come as you are, right? Just come as you are. So if we look at Zacchaeus, if we go back to chapter 1, verse 1, here, right? Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. And then Jesus was just passing through. Meaning he's not like going to Zacchaeus. He was just passing through. But that place, there was a man whose name was Zacchaeus, right? We know who is Zacchaeus. He is chief tax collector, like chief, he got the position, plus he was wealthy. He got a lot of money, right? But when we look at him in like worldly, like he have money, he have position. So he seems to got everything he need, right? He seems to got like all the world has to offer. All the money, all the power, position. But if we go to verse 3, he wanted to see Jesus. Why? Zacchaeus, why do you want to see Jesus? Like, why did he want to see Jesus? He got everything. And sometimes me, you, as since we're young, we might thought, oh, if I got that degree, right? If I got that job, if I got the boys or girl, right? For example, or if I become this, that, that's not gonna satisfy us. Here we see, look at Zacchaeus. He got position, he got power, he got money, but he want more. He said he wanted to see Jesus. And look at what he did. He was short. He was, there's like a lot of crowd. And then he did something amazing. He don't give up. He ran to the tree, and then he was waiting for Jesus. who think, if you know the answer, you could just shout out. If you think Jesus already knew Zacchaeus, or did you guys think Jesus already knew Zacchaeus before he came to the place that Zacchaeus went? I don't think so, right? Because Jesus didn't know Zacchaeus yet, and Zacchaeus, he never seen Jesus, right? He said in verse 2, we see that he wanted to see who Jesus was because he had never seen Jesus. And here, in verse, if we go to verse 3, okay. So he climbed, he was waiting for Jesus, and then if we go to the next verse, when Jesus reached the spot, meaning there's like Zacchaeus was at that tree, right? Jesus was at that spot, and then Jesus looked at, and then what did Jesus say? Could you all read it? To him, after him, what is it? Zacchaeus, right? Which is the name of that person who wanted to see Jesus. How did Jesus know Zacchaeus? How did Jesus know Zacchaeus? Right? I was kind of thinking, hey, Jesus never been to this place, and Zacchaeus never met Jesus. Jesus never met Zacchaeus. How did Jesus know Zacchaeus? Why? If you want to see Jesus, if you have that desire, before you know it, Jesus already knows you. Like Jesus is gonna be, hey, he would be like ready before you made the decision. Like he will already know you before you know him. For example, here look, Jesus know the name of that person, Zacchaeus. If you look at the Bible, if we really study about Jesus, the miracle of Jesus, there are only very, very few people that Jesus known before. There were very, very few people that Jesus known them by name. I mean, called them by name when they got here. For example, there are a lot of blind people, the lame, but Jesus never, very, very rarely mentioned the name of that person before they met. Sometimes Jesus might say, what is your name? But here, Jesus doesn't say, what is your name? No. Jesus already knew, hey, Zacchaeus, come now immediately. I'm going to stay at your house. So here we see that Zacchaeus, he wanted to see Jesus. He had the desire. And then he did everything that he could. He don't give up, right? And then Jesus was only passing through that place. He don't have plan to, today I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna meet Zacchaeus, I'm gonna stay at, no. Jesus was just passing through, but somehow the heart that want to see Jesus, because of that, he gotta stay. Jesus said, I must stay at your house. And then he did stay at Zacchaeus' house. And if we go to the next verse, and then the people, around, other people, they would begin to say, wait, how did Jesus, stay at Zacchaeus' sinner house, right? He was kind of saying about bad things, and Jesus and all his disciples, Zacchaeus, they were just kind of chilling, they were sitting together, and then all of a sudden, right, Zacchaeus just stood up. And then we see Zacchaeus said, hey, Jesus, I'm going to give half of my position to the poor. Then, if I cheat, he would give 4 times. Jesus doesn't say, do this, do that, but Zacchaeus made that decision. And the whole story is, the point I'm trying to say is, you could come as you are. For example, there'll be time as you will be going through things, and there'll be downtime that we may have. But we should not say, hey, Kubisa, this week I'm not very, I'm kind of going into this path. I don't know if I could go to church, or I don't know, man. I don't think I'm kind of deserving. I'm in this pathway. I'm kind of sinning, man. When you feel like you are very, very down, when you feel like you are far, far away from God, when you feel like you are very, very sinful, that means you are perfect candidate for Jesus. Jesus is looking for those people, right? When you say, I think, well, I'm very, I was very not worthy to be here. I'm like, I don't deserve. I was very kind of when we feel that kind of thought, that kind of feeling, that may God's grace can reach you there, right? God's grace can reach you there, and at that time, God's not away from you. He's always with you. And let's remember this. In the Bible, God always said that He will be with you forever, and He loves you forever, and that is not going to change. So let's that sink in our heart. He loves you forever, and He's with you forever. And even though as we get older, as we go through life, there will be time, and when we feel like oh, I don't want to go to church, man. I don't want to go to church, or I don't want to like pray, or I don't want to. I'm kind of like doing like I'm in this like situation. I don't feel like I'm worthy, stuff like that. At that time, you are very, very like perfect for Jesus. So you are always, always welcome. And when you come to Jesus, what's gonna happen? Your life gonna change, because God can change me and you, right? So also, when you feel like, today, I have a fight with my parents, or my friends. I don't feel like I want to like pray. I don't feel like I want to like sing a song. I was kind of, when we have that moment, come as you are, just come, right? So yes, God's grace can reach us in that situation that we are in. When we feel like we are, very, very far away from God, His grace can reach you there. God, grace can reach you at that place. So we are never away from God. God's always with us, and He always loves us, right? So let's this truth sink in our heart. And if we look at other example, I don't know if you guys know the story of like a woman who was caught in adultery, right? Who was like sinning, who was having, sleeping with other men. She was caught in that situation, and then she was brought in front of Jesus. Imagine that. Jesus was holy, He's God. But this woman was sinning, and she was brought in front of Jesus. Think about that. Hey, maybe after like 3 months, 4 months, or after maybe a year, when you be clean, come to Jesus. No. She was bring with that situation in front of Jesus at that moment. Think about that, right? She was very like dirty, like sinning, but she was in front of Jesus. Meaning, hey, whatever situation we are in, we are struggling, we can always come to Jesus. We can always come to Jesus. So that's grace that we have through Christ. And with this, one example, I'll be close. So also, if we look at all the people that Jesus healed, the blind, the lame, the blind, they all sinner. They all, if we look at from a human point, they don't deserve to be with. They don't deserve to come to Jesus. They are sinner, man. They should not come to Jesus, right? From human point, we could say that, but they are perfect candidate. They are perfect people for Jesus, because Jesus come. If we look at the last verse, verse 9 probably. Yep. So because no, verse 10. If we go to verse 10, do we have it? I'm gonna okay. It was verse 10. Yes. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. So Jesus came to save and to seek and to save the lost. And that's how much God loves us, right? When we think about, whatever situation we are in, we can always come to Jesus. Why? Because that's how much He loved me and you. That's the love of God. And when we when we think about that, how much His grace is greater than all the sins of this world, and His grace is greater, right? So today, the message I'm sharing is that you can always come to Jesus. Don't say, hey, after I fix this, after I got this better, after I make sure done this, I'm gonna come to you. Just come as you are. You are always welcome. And then what's gonna happen when you come to Jesus with all your heart? If you really want it, you're gonna be changed. Why are you gonna be changed? Because He can change you. He can change me. He can change me. And so here, if we look at the life of Zacchaeus, he was changed from a man who was, wealthy. Yes, he have in all the position, he was a chief, but he still want Jesus. He want to see Jesus, and Jesus know his heart. And before he knew Jesus, Jesus already knew Zacchaeus, even his name, and then he called from with his name. And then finally, Zacchaeus, his life was changed. And remember, why did Jesus came here? Jesus came to seek and to save the lost. That is me and you, right? And that we are going to transform. And we are, God's going to make, He will change our life. He will transform our life for His glory, right? So, with this, I'll close. But again, as we go home, as days go by, let's, the word of God sink in our heart that, God really loves us, and He loves us forever. And He's always with us forever. Like forever is forever, and then we know, right? So He always loves us forever, and He's always with us forever. With this, be closing, and I hope this will encourage you, and may God bless you.